What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Shift on YouTube with Francisco Rojas. Look, it's Hall of Fame season. It is December 19th. I'm sitting here Monday, December 19th. It is Hall of Fame season. Not talking about anybody on the ballot today, but I do want to talk about somebody that is currently playing. I like to do this, every now and then. I like to do I did a Paul Goldschmidt this year. I did a Joey Votto, I think, last year. I'll have that to the link in the description box for you guys to check out. So I like to do a lot of these players sometimes that are currently playing and think about what their Hall of Fame, track and case could be, going forward for when they retire. So I want to talk about Jacob deGrom today. Jacob deGrom is a very interesting one to look at. He, to me, is a very interesting case. And I'm going to talk about what he needs to do to get into the Hall of Fame right after. Go make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like this video. Go make sure you check out my last video where we talked about Carlos Correa signing with the San Francisco Giants. What does that mean for Correa, for the Giants? Does it make sense? I share my thoughts there. So go make sure you check out that video. That's going to be in the description. I'll have something up here too, I think. I know I can do that somehow. So I'm going to make sure I do that. You think I'm a veteran YouTuber. You think I would know how to do that. But either way, go make sure you check that out. So Jacob deGrom, his Hall of Fame track. Look, we all know what he did with the New York Mets. I don't have to go too far into it. My thing with deGrom, 2018, 2019, that was kind of his peak, right? There's other players that have had longer peaks. There are other pitchers that we know have had way longer peaks, like Randy Johnson, even kind of a Pedro Martinez, Expos and Red Sox up until the mid 2000s. My thing with deGrom is he needs to have another peak and a 4 to 5 good years with the Rangers. Do I really see that happening? It's hard, man, because he's suffered a lot of injuries in the last couple of years, and that's what's kind of steered him in the wrong direction now. Because obviously, when he's been on the mound, he's been Jacob deGrom. He's been incredible. He's been really good. Look, in 2021, he was on track to having a better season than the great Bob Gibson in 1968. He was having that type of a season. He had a 373 ERA plus before he went down in 92 innings. Unbelievable. And the ERA just over 1 in 15 starts and just under 100 innings. Unreal. We know what Jacob deGrom is. Even last year, he kind of ended the season not too great, but still in 11 starts, ERA just above 3 and a FIP just above 2. He's Jacob deGrom still. And he's throwing gas. He's throwing his nasty slider. He's doing Jacob deGrom things. But at the same time, he needs to have another, maybe even more of a sort of extended peak. And kind of the person that I look at with deGrom is a Verlander. Verlander, I think we can all agree, once he's done, especially winning the Cy Young this year, and Verlander having a season like deGrom did in 2018, ERA that good, his ERA 1.75. deGrom's was 1.7 in 2018. Won the Cy Young, finished top 10 in MVP voting. Verlander, we can all agree at this point is a Hall of Famer. A couple of Cy Youngs, 3 Cy Youngs, 1 MVP, has been vital to a lot of World Series teams with the Astros, 2 World Series titles now. I know it's a team sport, but at the end of the day, he helped win those World Series. And, he hasn't had great World Series numbers, but still, overall, we can all agree that Justin Verlander is a Hall of Famer. We can all agree on that. We know that at this point, Justin Verlander is a Hall of Famer. Verlander had kind of 2 separate peaks, right? Verlander had that peak early on in his career from about 2009 to 2013, where he did win a Cy Young and an MVP during that span, and he had about, I think, 5 All-Star appearances. I'm looking at his Baseball Reference page now. and top three Cy Young finishes. That was his first peak, right? But then 2013 to 2015 wasn't bad. Wasn't like a terrible pitcher, except for that 2014 season wasn't very good at all. It was not Justin Verlander at all. 2015 had an injury. I believe it was a arm injury with Verlander, or it was a triceps injury. Excuse me. So yeah, so Verlander goes down with that injury, but comes back, and then since 2016, he's been the Justin Verlander we have seen. I mean, he's been that Justin Verlander. He's been the Justin Verlander of the top 5 Cy Young wins, or finishing top 5 in Cy Young voting, and 2 Cy Youngs in the last 3 years. And 2020, misses all of 2020, misses all of 2021, comes back, and I mean, it's Justin Verlander. It might even been better. Like it's insane. Like deGrom needs that type of peak again. Sort of, I won't say that exact one to at least get a consideration, because right now, Jacob deGrom, I would not consider him for the Hall of Fame at all. I don't think any voters would. I don't think anybody out there would right now consider Jacob deGrom for the Hall of Fame if he decided to hang it up. But for me, I don't think he needs to have that crazy of a second peak like Verlander did. But the way I kind of look at it, accolades are important. At the end of the day, you can say what you want about accolades. Like, there are certain ones that are suspect, like the Gold Glove, and even All-Star appearances, because, I mean, Bryce Harper, look, as a Phillies fan, Bryce Harper and Jimmy Rollins both won MVP awards without making the All-Star games the year that they won those awards. So, the All-Star appearances are, I don't know. But my whole thing is, like, he does need to rack up accolades like a Cy Young award. Like, I think deGrom, I mean, it would definitely look good if Jacob deGrom wins a Cy Young award, 2 Cy Young awards in the National League and 1 in the American League. Definitely looks really good. I think he needs to win another Cy Young, and, obviously sooner than later, unless he can reinvent himself, and that's kind of part of this. He needs to, win another Cy Young, 2 to 3 more elite years, plus a few, even after those elite years, if you can have a couple more just good years and just rack up more WAR, rack up the accolades, rack up the strikeouts, like all of that stuff goes into how I see Jacob deGrom making the Hall of Fame from his, I guess, just for the path of the GOAT. That's what he needs to do. At the end of the day, that's what he needs to do. He needs to rack up the WAR. He racked up the WAR in 2018 and 2019, 9.5 B WAR and a 7.2 B WAR in back-to-back years. He's going to need to rack up that WAR, man. Rack up the WAR. He needs another Cy Young. People still look at All-Star appearances. Like, that's what the voters are looking at as well. Like, voters take this stuff into consideration. And deGrom's going to need to do that stuff. He's going to need to do it. I don't think it's going to be easy, especially with the injuries thing, man. Like, the health, injuries, the amount of innings he's racking up, the amount of strikeouts. He's at over 1,600 right now. I don't think he's going to get to 3,000 unless he just has an incredible, like, Randy Johnson type of run, which he did in Arizona. But, deGrom's just dealing with the injuries he's had the last couple of years. I just think it's going to be really hard. But he needs to have another type of peak like we saw with Justin Verlander. Like, he needs a second one. Does he need to have 2 Cy Youngs? Maybe not. But he just needs to... I just see that type of second little run here. I mean, and Verlander's had a good stretch of 6 years last, half a decade. So it's going to be hard. I want to know from you guys, though, what does Jacob deGrom need to do to make the Hall of Fame? Do you see him making the Hall of Fame? Do you not? What do you see? How do you see his tenure in Texas? I mean, to me, it's an overpay, man. Like, as a Phillies fan, I'm glad deGrom didn't come to Philadelphia. 5 years, 185, because guys got to stay healthy. The best value is availability, or whatever the saying goes. So that's going to do it for me. That's going to do it here on The Shift. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know what you think of Jacob deGrom's chances to make the Hall of Fame. I want to know from you. Follow me on Twitter at Rojas_media_. Tell me on there too. You don't have to just tell me on the YouTube comments. Tell me on there. I want to know from you guys. That's going to do it for me. See you guys next time.